Sow a behavior, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. But before you sow behavior, you must first adjust the electromagnetic frequency in your mind. Welcome to the Inner World Podcast, where I, Liam Johnson, share insights on inner awareness and mindful living, helping you steadily build resilient inner strength and peaceful wisdom. We don't just talk about change, we talk about true transformation from within, where each daily life choice becomes a building block of a deeper version of yourself. Today is day 8 of the 21-day Inner Awareness Elevation Program, a journey specially designed for those seeking to rise above emotional cycles, old karma, and the fog of unclear life purpose. In previous sessions, we've explored foundational concepts like karma and destiny, positive inner states, and the power of appreciation and gratitude. And today we move into a topic that can transform your entire way of living, a deeply profound yet practical tool, the 7 essential acts of giving in life. We often talk about how to make money, seize opportunities, and achieve goals. But how can we live so that every moment of our presence becomes an act of creating blessings? How can we not only be outwardly wealthy, but also rich in life energy? You don't need a lot to give, but giving the right way is what truly makes you rich. That's why today's content is so important, because it will open for you the simplest doorway to practice, so that every day, no matter how busy you are, you can still accumulate merit and virtue without waiting until you are wealthy, famous, or successful. If you haven't heard of the concepts of merit and virtue, you can revisit previous sessions in our channel's video library. This is also a reminder, since the 21-day journey is interconnected, you may listen to earlier episodes or replay them. Each time brings a new experience. Now I will guide you from the principle of positive electromagnetism to the secret of inner balance, to the story of a farmer and a Zen master, and finally to how you can apply these 7 acts of giving in everyday life, simply yet effectively in your daily routine. At the end of this video, I will share the most important insight, the one that creates the lasting difference between those who truly know how to give and those who just do it as a task. This difference shapes entirely different lives. Listen closely, because you're not just listening to a podcast. You're stepping into a living formula that could bring profound transformation to your life. So if you agree that external life is the consequence of the internal state, we must seriously re-examine the most profound operational structure of a human being: inner electromagnetism. The previous section helped us understand that each of us is a vibrant electromagnetic system. Inside you, there are 2 parallel energy currents constantly operating. One is positive electricity, representing light, positivity, mindfulness, compassion, and love. The other is balanced electricity, like a central axis, helping us maintain stability, calmness, and inner peace. And then, somewhere behind life, there always exists another current, the negative current. It manifests as anger, envy, blame, and the victim mindset. The interesting thing is, this current cannot appear on its own unless you allow it. And what amazed me most when I understood this is that we can stop it. How? Simple. When you maintain a positive and balanced state, negative electricity has no environment to arise. Let me repeat, because this is important. Where there is light, darkness cannot exist. And light, my friend, is not something you seek, it is something you become. You don't need to run somewhere to find positivity. You just need to begin with a small act of giving. A smile, a grateful glance, a sincere compliment. These small things, like rays of light, gradually push back the darkness you carry within. You don't need to destroy darkness. You just need to turn on the light, and darkness disappears. Just like when we try to solve a problem, that is, the darkness, another problem appears. But when we search for solutions, the problems naturally resolve, that is, disappear. Many people ask, if I can maintain this state, can I control my destiny? The answer is yes, but not by controlling the future. Rather, by managing the present. You cannot change the outcome in an instant, but you can shift your inner frequency immediately. And when that frequency changes, so does your karma and destiny. We've all heard the saying, sow a behavior, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. But before sowing behavior, you must adjust the electromagnetic frequency of your mind. Why do some people feel more exhausted the harder they try, and more disadvantaged the more they compete? Because they use a negative frequency while hoping for a positive result. And as you know, physical truth doesn't work that way. You can't use darkness to light up a room, but you can use one small spark to dissolve an entire space of darkness. So every morning when you wake up, ask yourself, which current am I running on? Positive, balanced, or negative? And don't take this lightly, because that electromagnetic state is the very foundation by which you manage karma. It's something we've always thought was predetermined by fate. You can't command the system of karma like a boss, but you can influence it, like an artist shaping their masterpiece. And the starting point isn't something grand. It's the small behaviors, repeated every day, but rooted in positive energy and balance. This podcast is not here to inspire you and leave you with short-lived motivation. We're here to reset the foundation of your thinking system, where you no longer live because of circumstances, but with conscious awareness and intention. You don't need to change your environment, change others, or change the world. You just need to change your own frequency. That is why I began this journey, to help you clear the fog in your mind so you can see clearly that when you hold a positive inner state, lightness, peace, and luck arrive without needing to be invited. When you stay balanced, the outer chaos appears as small challenges, not as tragic fate. And when you no longer let darkness have a place within you, you stop reacting negatively. You respond with understanding and love. Once again, I want to emphasize, it's not greater effort that changes your life, but changing the right thing, your inner state. And that is why, in the next section, I will share with you the art of sowing virtue and merit through 7 simple daily acts of giving as a way to light your inner world every day. Because remember, you cannot manage your karma in the future, but you can completely change the energy you're operating on right now. And if you can do that, you won't need to seek blessings. Because you are already becoming the one who creates blessings every day. If you're still wondering, I understand the importance of my inner state. I know how to stay positive and balanced. But where do I begin? Then let me tell you a story. A poor office worker who spent his entire life diligently and tirelessly working still found himself stuck in hardship. One day he came to a Zen master and asked, "I have tried so hard. Why am I still poor?" That is the question of millions who are trading their lives for toil without seeing results. But then the Zen master replied, like a bell awakening the soul, "Because you lack merit. To gain merit, practice giving every day." But, "I am poor. What do I have to give?" This is the key point. We think giving means having money, means giving away possessions, means we must have excess in order to give. But the Zen master smiled and said something I want you to remember, because it opens up an entirely new world. It is not only money that counts as giving. There are 7 types of giving that anyone can do. I call this the art of sowing light, because each act of giving done the right way creates a point of positive electricity within you. And the miracle is, you don't need to have much to begin. You just need to begin with what you already have right now. From a smile, a glance, a word of encouragement, each one can be a blessing if it comes from a pure heart. And those small acts of giving, repeated every day, become the stream of positive energy that keeps you balanced. When you maintain a positive and balanced state, negative electricity or harmful merit cannot arise. The story above is not just about poverty. It is a lesson in the limits of awareness. He wasn't poor because he lacked possessions. He was poor because he didn't yet know how to sow blessings with what he already had. And what about you? Don't wait for life to change before you begin giving, because when you know how to give the right way, that very act is already changing your life. That is why in the next section I will share with you the 7 most profound types of giving in life, and how they function as tools to build lasting merit and virtue. Because remember, it's not those who have a lot who give, it's those who know how to give who have a lot. It is not only money that counts as giving. There are 7 types of giving that anyone can do. That statement opens the second door in the journey of awakening, from understanding that blessings are not determined by circumstances, but by awareness, to taking real action. What can we do to sow blessings? You do not need to change your destiny. You only need to change the seeds you sow each day. And these 7 types of giving are those seeds. Let's go through each type, not as a checklist, but as inner keys, each unlocking a door to deep transformation. Smile giving. No one is too poor to offer a smile. A smile is one of the most powerful nonverbal energy. A sincere smile, not to flatter, but to acknowledge someone's presence, to say, "I see you, I value you." You may say nothing, but if you know how to smile at the right moment, in the right place, you are planting inner light in someone else. And that light, as I said before, where there is light, darkness cannot exist. Giving. The eyes are a language without words. And the truth is, the way we look at others reflects who we are. You may look at someone with contempt, pity, or judgment, but you may also look at them with understanding and trust. And you know what? That gaze can be of saving energy, especially for those who are hurting. We live in an age where people see each other through phone screens, through cold emojis, but a real look, a listening gaze, can dissolve someone's loneliness. Sword giving. I believe words are an asset we can give infinitely, yet they hold incredible value. You don't need to be a great speaker, you just need to use the right words at the right time. praised when someone puts in effort, encouragement when they feel like giving up, wisdom when they are confused, instructive words when they stray, inspiration to keep them moving forward, and sometimes just a simple "I believe in you." That is word giving, the kind that can rebuild a person's inner world with just a few timely words. And remember, a kind word at the right moment can be the anchor that saves someone from drowning. Heart giving. A truly grateful heart is the most fertile soil for all seeds of merit and virtue to grow. Without gratitude, every act of giving is merely an exchange. With gratitude, even the smallest act becomes meaningful. When you thank the one who brings you food, thank the one who cleans, thank the one who listens, thank yourself for not giving up. You are shifting from lack to abundance. And when you are grateful enough, the universe cannot help but give you more. Forgiveness giving. Forgiveness does not mean condoning. It means not sentencing someone forever for a single mistake. You forgive not to free others, but to free yourself from resentment. Forgiveness is when you see someone angry and you don't react. Forgiveness is when you see someone weak and you don't look down on them. Forgiveness is when you remember everyone is fighting a battle you cannot see. I call this the quietest yet deepest form of giving, because you do nothing, but you also do not let darkness rise within you. Action giving. Some people don't talk much, don't speak publicly, don't write beautifully, but they always show up at the right time, do the right thing, and help the right way. You don't need to run a big charity. Just offer your hand when someone stumbles. You don't need to serve free meals. Just hold the door for the person behind you. You don't need grand promises. Just be on time, keep your word, live wholeheartedly. Action giving is the physical presence of a kind-hearted inner self. And sometimes just doing is enough. You don't need to say a word. Space giving. It sounds simple, but this is a test of the ego. Are you willing to offer space to others? Not just a seat, but an opportunity, a voice, a position, or recognition. Space giving is when you take a step back so someone else can step forward. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough not to need to prove yourself. And in that step back, you are planting the merit of humility. And do you see it? The 7 types of giving require no money, no fame, no titles, but they do require a bright enough inner self and a heart big enough to give. When you master these 7 forms of giving, you no longer need to wish for blessings. Because by then, you are the source of blessings. And one final note. If you are still listening at this point, I believe you are ready. You don't need to change the world. You only need to begin with the smallest act of giving today. Because remember, it's not about what you have to give. It's about whether you want to become someone who gives. And once you begin, your life will never be the same. So after you've understood and practiced the 7 types of giving as small seeds sown into each moment of life, what will happen? The answer does not lie outside. It does not come in the form of a new car, a better job, or a gift falling from the sky. No, the first and most important result is the transformation within you. Giving is not just about giving away, it is a form of inner management. It is the art of transforming from lack to fullness, from reaction to awareness, from passivity to conscious choice. And the special thing is, when you live with the spirit of giving, you are not only creating virtue, but also nurturing merit, which is the foundation for managing your karma and destiny. There is a saying, "Have virtue and you shall be provided for." And most people understand this as a reminder about virtue, about the good fortune and ease someone receives for doing good deeds. But few understand that to have virtue so strong even spirits respect you. You need merit. If virtue is the reward you receive from right action, then merit is the strength you build from the depths of your inner self. Virtue is the fruit, but merit is the root. Virtue is the light that shines on you. Merit is the light that comes from within. Merit is created when you do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Help someone without expecting gratitude. Forgive mistakes, even when you have every reason to judge. Choose to do good, even when you are in pain. That is no longer just behavior, it is character. No longer just giving, but the being of one who sows light. The one who manages their inner world, manages their karma. And then, when you accumulate enough virtue and merit, you reach a higher level. You begin to manage your own karma. Karma is not punishment. It is a system of operation. You sow, you reap. You build up a type of energy, you create a corresponding reality. You act on a certain frequency. You attract outcomes of the same frequency. And as I've said before, you don't need to control your destiny, you only need to manage your inner frequency. So every time you practice one of the 7 types of giving, you are not just planting seeds, you are shaping the structure of your karmic force. And if you do it long enough, your karmic direction will shift. Not because you changed your fate, but because you transformed your inner self. Not because someone saved you, but because you became the one who could save yourself. Why is that? Now look again at the 7 types of giving, and imagine, if each morning you start with a sincere smile, each time you meet someone, you offer a compassionate gaze. Each time you speak, your words are carefully chosen to add value. And each night you go to sleep with gratitude instead of complaints. What will happen? I don't promise you'll be rich. I don't promise everything will go smoothly. But I can promise you one thing. You will no longer be who you were yesterday. You will be more peaceful because you replaced reaction with awareness. You will be lighter because you replace blame with forgiveness. And you will be stronger because you no longer depend on circumstances to feel enough. Every external transformation begins with internal practice. And the 7 types of giving are the simplest, most effective daily practice you can do anytime, anywhere. Do not wait for virtue to arrive. Become the source of infinite virtue. So, what are you hoping will come into your life? If your answer is, I hope to meet the right people, have the right opportunities, receive the right help, then don't wait for someone to bring that to you. Become the one who brings it to others. You want to meet the right people? Be a kind person. You want opportunities? Learn to open doors for others. You want help? Start by helping someone else first. Because you don't receive what you wish, you receive what you become. And when you become someone who gives, not to receive, but because that is the person you choose to be, then all good things will naturally come to you. So after all this, there remains only one question. Are you accumulating merit and virtue each day, or are you letting them slip away? Because remember, virtue doesn't come from nowhere, it comes from you. And merit is not born on its own. It is born from how you choose to respond in each moment. You cannot control your entire life. But you can choose to give a smile, a word, a look. And that small act, if you persist, will transform your entire life. I am Liam Johnson. This is the Inner World Podcast. And if you've walked with me this far, then congratulations. You are no longer living by old habits. You are living by the light of conscious choice. So after you've sown the 7 seeds of giving, after you've lived by the positive frequency and maintained inner balance, after you've understood that you can accumulate virtue and merit and manage your karma, how do you sustain it? And does this truly vary from person to person? The answer is yes, very much so. You cannot build a strong house without understanding its structure. And you cannot build a sustainable life without understanding your own structure. Humans are not just bodies, not just emotions or thoughts. We are a complex combination of many layers, including 4 foundational elements, 3 core blocks, and most notably, something rarely noticed, collective karma and unique karma. Let me explain. Collective karma is everything you've sown across many lifetimes, accumulated in the deepest energy system. It is the root of today's reality. Unique karma is the unique, personalized, one-of-a-kind expression of that collective karma on the outside. You see, some people share the same circumstances, the same opportunities, the same conditions, yet the results are entirely different. Not because they are luckier, but because their unique karma is different from yours. A person with unique karma rooted in trust sees a challenge as an opportunity. A person with unique karma rooted in control sees change as a risk. And that creates a very different life, even when starting from the same place. When you understand the human structure includes layers like body, mind, body, intellect, karma, along with emotional block, behavioral block, subconscious block, you will no longer ask, why do I keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do I try so hard and still see no results? Why do others find ease while I struggle? Because now you know, each person has a unique expression and it requires a unique decoding method. Live with awareness, not just behavior. This also means you cannot use one formula to solve everyone's problems. You must turn inward and examine yourself in each operating block. Repeated behaviors, dominating emotions, subconscious leading the way, and above all, what kind of karma are you sowing in every moment of your life? We do not live by intention, we live by the karmic structure we've already sown. But you can reset that structure through awareness and new choices. Children, the purest givers you can learn from. A beautiful example I always use to illustrate unique karma is children. If you've ever watched a child, you'll see that they smile at everyone unconditionally, forgive easily and forget quickly, share toys without calculation, show gratitude with a hug, a glance. They live the 7 types of giving naturally, without being taught. Why? Because at that stage, Their inner world is not yet polluted by bias, wounds, and reactions. They still live purely in the light. But then, as they grow up, that light fades. We start to hold back our smiles. We start to look at each other with suspicion. We start to calculate every move. And slowly, we stop giving. Not because we don't have it, but because we've forgotten we once did. So, what do you choose? Now that you understand the positive and balanced electromagnetic inner state, the 7 types of giving and how to sow virtue and merit, the structure of karma and unique karma, the question is no longer, what should I do? But rather, am I ready to live differently? Living differently does not mean doing something big. Living differently means returning to what you once had but forgot. When you know who you are within the human structure, when you understand what unique karma is operating within you, and when you know how to plant seeds using the 7 types of giving, you no longer live in reaction, you live in awareness. And the aware person is the one who transforms every circumstance into an opportunity for growth. Remember, you are not like anyone else because you have your own unique karma. But no matter how different we are, everyone can practice the 7 types of giving, live with positive frequency, accumulate virtue and merit, and manage their karma and destiny. The final question I leave you with is, if today were your last chance to sow the best version of yourself, what would you begin with? We have talked about unique karma, the internal difference within each person, and how it shapes their life. But the most vivid and simple example to help you understand karma and destiny is children. In children, acts of sharing, smiling at others, helping one another, happen naturally and purely without calculation. They give, not because of conditions, but because of the pure instinct of the heart. Remember this. Children have the best lives because they practice the 7 types of giving every day. And you know what? Giving is not a method, it is a state of consciousness. When you behave like a child, you are touching the pure essence of giving. When you know how to see with a clear gaze, you are deeply connecting with inner light, and that light carries the power to prevent harmful karma from rising. Imagine you are in a conversation. You look at the person in front of you with a genuine, unhidden smile. This is giving of a smile. Your gaze does not wander, but truly listens. This is giving of a look. Your words gently encourage giving of speech. You express gratitude for their presence, giving from the heart. When they express a different opinion, you don't react harshly, giving of tolerance. You help when they need it, giving through action. You offer your seat or let them speak, giving of space. All of these, when done naturally without force, that is purity. And that is the moment when merit is deeply nurtured. Because doing something without a reason, that is action from the heart. You don't need to do anything grand. You just need to begin with one very small step every day. A morning smile to the first person you meet. Sincere gaze when someone speaks. A thank you that is not habitual. A small, timely act that is easy to do. Remember, if you don't sow virtue, I don't wait for you to have it. When you know how to give properly, that very act is changing your life. The importance of this cannot be overstated. It is not a psychological cost. It is an investment in the quality of your inner world. And your inner world is the control center of all your experiences, all your decisions, all your results. Have we ever asked ourselves, are we still waiting for perfect conditions? Are we delaying giving by waiting to be wealthy? Are we lacking the awareness that merit and virtue do not require grandeur? If you answered yes to any of those, then you have not truly entered the positive state, where inner light shines through every darkness. And what you need is a decisive shift from knowing to following through completely, clearly. Awareness does not create change, only action does. And when that action is crystallized into daily life through the 7 types of giving, you are not just someone changing yourself, you are someone redesigning your future. I hope you absorb this like a seed sprouting in daily life. This content, every word, was not written to be read and forgotten, but to help you manage your consciousness each day, so that every moment you become a source of blessings and light. And if you are still listening until now, then I believe you are not just someone looking for advice. You are someone searching for the true essence of yourself. And that journey does not begin with grand things, but with small acts, repeated every day, a gaze, a word, a smile, a moment of genuine gratitude. The 7 types of giving you just discovered are not a lesson, they are a reminder that every moment of life is a chance to plant a seed, and if you sow with awareness, you will harvest a life not only with results, but with depth, with light, and with meaning. At Inner World Podcast, we strive for deep and lasting impact, because each person who transforms is another light added to this world. And this world deeply needs that light. So if this content has touched you, please don't rush to click like or subscribe just yet. Pause for a moment and consider what you truly want for your inner life. If your answer is, I want to live differently, I want to awaken, I want to offer value sincerely, then at that moment, click like, because you've found something worth keeping. Subscribe if you believe that in this long journey, you need a companion, a place where the sharing is not for fleeting excitement, but for lasting depth. And finally, only when you feel this is truly worthy, share it with someone you love to spread the light of awareness. I am Liam Johnson. This is Inner World Podcast. And you are the sower of seeds. Sow today, so that one day you will not just live a life, but live the fullest, truest version of yourself.